The Gen 4 cars are back on the beach. Thursday Night Thunder live from Daytona International, ready to get the racing started. Defending champion Aiden Norman on the front row with Donald Ray. That Dodge Chevrolet combo will make up the starting two cars on this field of 18 registered drivers. Round number 3 of Thursday Night Thunder about to get underway. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of racing. Norman and Ray on the front row, and we're so glad you could be here to witness this. The Gen 4 cars back at Daytona. Green flag will fly for 85 laps of competition. Let's go racing! Aiden Norman leads by 2/100ths of a second. On the top side now with Rockwall's Donald Ray just beneath him. Richie Catania second in line on the outside. Rookie Cody McFadden in the 6'4" iBuyPower Chevrolet, second on the top side. That cartoonish looking number 30 sitting 5 cars back. Same as they started, 2 by 2, 9 rows deep. Austin Mongold in the 30 looking to the outside. Maybe just a little bit of clean air ahead of Briley Wright in that 2-9. Two drivers just set the fastest lap. The number 45 Coors Light Chevrolet, Patrick Allen, holds the quickest lap tonight, 44.97 for the blue and pink silver bullet, who gets loose out of turn number 2 and almost causes a massive catastrophe, and it's already started. Jimmy Kerr at the back, sliding through the grass. Will he save it? No. Contact to the inside. Thomas Andrews, the number 2 TNT Dodge, the season 4 champion, moves to the inside line. Richie Catania now sitting in that second position with Aiden Norman up front. Donald Ray, how about the 38 of Steven Oberstadt, making a super dangerous move to the inside, almost cutting off the 45 of Patrick Allen. Drivers getting dangerous and forgetting to be patient early on. Jimmy Kerr already suffering. Car 75 sitting in 18th and still rolling. He won't come down into the pits and lose one lap. He stays out, moving at a slow pace. The 38 of Oberstadt, who almost caused a massive crash coming down in front of the 45, gets himself a reprieve. Aiden Norman and Donald Ray still sitting at the front of the field as they go flying down that Daytona superstretch. Ray in the 5. Elridge George looks like he's dropped off. Car number 40, well slow. Donald Ray in that number 5, still up top. He's got a clear lane in front of Aiden Norman. Norman now closes the space. The 2-4 of Ricardo Catania sitting second in that line. The number 1-5 of Noah Belleville. Third on that left-hand side. Cars starting to jostle already. Austin Mongold in the 30. Fourth in line. Briley Wright in that 2-9, third on the top side. Last season's winner in a thrilling finish where Briley took the checkered flag by himself. There was no one there to contest the Kentucky pilot because everybody behind him had crashed in turn 1 on the white flag lap. Cody Riggs, another one of those bluegrass bandits, along with Briley Wright and Toby Estes, who almost goes way too high. Sitting ahead of John Honeybrink in that 2-0. Drivers really need to be careful. They've really got to maintain that space. You can tell that they're getting just a bit too close now. The 6-2 of Aiden Norman on the inside. Belleville, last week's winner, still behind him. Belleville getting the job done at the Richmond Raceway. Aiden Norman getting the win week number 1 at Phoenix. Belleville shoots to the inside. The internet connectivity starting to let down the driver of the 15, and there it is as the field goes zooming by. He removes himself from the equation like a gentleman. There goes 2 cars already. David Houck, Cody Riggs into the wall. Jason Alexander gets around them, and they go again off the turn 4 wall. Cody Riggs comes up against the wall, and the yellow flag is out coming out of turn number 4. Riggs in the 3. Smashed up. Let's take a look at what happened. Already crashed from here. David Houck turning left, trying to get off the wall. See if we can have another look. Hauk in the 2-1 just gets right into the 3 of Riggs. Look at that, 3 wide, trying to avoid the blinking Belleville. Hauk in the 2-1, right up into the wall. He comes off the wall, right into the 3 of Cody Riggs. Let's see if we can get just a better look here, possibly on board. Off turn number 2 now, let's go on board with David Hauk. Doug Norris in the chat, good friend of Cody Riggs, saying, hey, from the shower. Huh. On board Donald Ray, this is what he saw. Hauk just keeps climbing up the hill right into the 3. One more look. Let's try and take a look at from the blimp and just see. We'll see what happened, and we'll let you all make the call. Hauk right up the hill, and in a moment where you would expect someone to let off the gas, they go 3 wide. Hauk comes off the wall. It all goes upside down. Pulls right off the wall at the wrong time and collects Cody Riggs as well, so the caution comes out for the first time. Central Florida's Richie Catania leads the way in the number 2-4 Pepsi Chevy. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews sits in the 2nd position. Let's see if we can get somewhat of a word with Richie. Richie Catania, Rick James up top, you got me. Richie Catania, Rick James in the booth. You hear me? Oh, you know what? Let's try a third time. Richie Catania, Rick James up top. Can you hear me? All right. 3 strikes and Richie's back to the voice chat there. So 9 laps before we go under the guidance of the yellow flag. The Gen 4 cars are definitely a handful. Thomas Andrews is going to restart on the outside. Let's try Thomas Andrews. Let's see if we can get through to him. Thomas Andrews, Rick James up top. Can you hear me? Gotcha. Hey, buddy. Let's turn you up here so the fans can hear you. So 9 laps in, we already got a caution here. You're on the outside of Richie Catania, ready for the restart. It's been a long time since we've seen the 2-car in victory lane. Extensive practice, 9 laps in. What do you think so far of the race? Can you win it?
I think anybody's got a shot here. Obviously, it's Daytona. It's going to go down to the last lap. But I don't know. There's a lot of really fast guys here, so we'll see what we could do. We got a long way to go. 75 laps at Daytona's, I don't know how many miles that is, but it's a lot. So we got to just keep ourselves in position, keep ourselves in the front of this pack. Hopefully have, I didn't stop and get fuel there, so hopefully I can manage the fuel situation and be there in the end and maybe put the 2-car in victory lane.
We'll see what happens, buddy. Best of luck, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Appreciate it.
You might notice, according to those points, one driver that couldn't make it tonight, Tom Sears, not able to register. He's in the great state of Maine, while Thursday Night Thunder races on iRacing in Daytona, so Tom couldn't make it home to his native Southampton, Massachusetts. But no worries. Tom Sears has put up a little bounty for these guys, $25 to the winner of this race. So in his absence, he is generous, if nothing else, Richie Catania in that 2-4. Sits on the inside. He's going to control this restart. 10 laps will be completed. 75 laps to go from the World Center of Racing. Hold on tight. TNT's green. Catania and Andrew still at the front. Shout out to Donald Ray, who should be racing while he's out here gifting subs in the chat. Big shout out to Donald Ray, everybody over there in Rockwall, Texas as well. One of the Bluegrass Bandits, Toby Estes, who started in 15th. He's second on the top side, and it's a game of survival now. If drivers want to make it through the rest of this race, they know that they're all quick. But they certainly just need to stay off each other. How about Ryan Pennell from nearby Jacksonville? And you might be thinking, what is a native of Jacksonville doing with the Georgia Bulldogs on his car? But he does love himself some dog football, and they're going to be starting out real soon here, hoping to get another national championship. I know Ryan's really excited about that one, and carrying a little bit of Bulldog pride on that number 12 Taurus. Jason Alexander behind him in the 5-6, the pride of Salem. Is it Salem or Sumter? Where is he from? Is it Salem? That's Jimmy Kerr. Where's Jason Alexander? It is Salem, the pride of Salem, South Carolina. A lot of prideful drivers out here. That all gray 5-6, fourth in the top side. Cody Riggs behind him, and one driver blinking wildly back here. Davey Haug now goes purple, 44.93, sitting at the back of that pack. You can imagine getting that draft. Noah Belleville just behind him in that 1-5 car as well. Oberstadt in that 38, fourth on the inside, one of those rookies along with Cody McFadden, who has proven himself not only useful but exceptional in these first few races. Looking at those points, Cody McFadden, he's sitting 14th, as it were, in the rookie standings. Absolutely unbelievable for McFadden. Steven Oberstadt also sitting, I believe, 6th in those point standings as well. So the rookies really impressing. Status quo remains the same up at the front of the pack. How about Briley Wright going to the top side? What's he thinking of? That 2-9 behind one of his Bluegrass Bandit friends, the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet. Rookie McFadden gets loose, and they're wrecking again. This time it's Pennell, George Kerr. Donald Ray has been involved. Second caution is out. 16 laps into this race, and that green flag stint shorter than the first. And this one looks like it could have been avoided once again. Let's have a look. The number 40 of George just lifting the 75 of Jimmy Kerr. Ryan Pennell involved. The 30 car. Austin Mongold also taking part in that crash. Have another look here. Just the 40 car lifting the back end of the 75. Not sure what went on there. right on board with Elridge George, the Bahamian from Nassau. There it is. That is exactly what happened. George was full speed into the back of Jimmy Kerr. Ryan Pennell in his matte chrome. The Bulldogs 12 just ruined. Bunch of race cars chewed up. There's Austin Mongold in 30th. He's all the way to the back. So the second caution comes out. Ryan Pennell in that number 12 needs to get his race car repaired. Thomas Andrews still at the front of this one. Richie Catania sitting in second. In Greensburg, Kentucky's Toby Estes sitting in third. And Mr. Exiled called it. Cody McFadden in the 64, that iBuyPower car. Checked up. Everybody let off the throttle. Elridge George full throttle right into the 75 of Jimmy Kerr. And the same thing sort of occurred last week at Richmond. The 5-6 of Elridge George happened to get in an accident, and the 5-6 of Jason Alexander got into an accident, and then Elridge George just plows right into the 5-6. John Honeybrink with his blinking at the front of this race now leads. Cody Riggs is in second and Davey Houck is in third. They elected not to come into the pits. Meanwhile, we're going to take a break. We're going to get these race cars sorted out, and maybe we can see some green flag action. Let's say 2 minutes here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Points are going to be shaken up tonight. That's an absolute certainty. It is Daytona after all, so we're ready to get the party started once again. And I'm so glad you could be here to experience this. Sim racing at its finest. Thursday Night Thunder under what are now the lights at Daytona. A little bit of chrome action on the number 2. Cody Riggs and Davey Houck have control of the field. Green flag is out.
Green flag, green flag.
Donald Ray sits in 7th. Let's ride on board with the Texan. So far, so good. They're keeping their noses clean for the time being. Cody Riggs leading at the front, a driver from Kentucky, won this race last season. Could the Bluegrass Bandits go 2-for-2 at Daytona? Noah Belleville on the top side carrying a head full of steam. Elrich George in the back, jostling back and forth. George needs to just let off the throttle a bit, ride around. Hopefully they can log a few more laps under green than they did last time through. Davey Houck on the top side with Richie Catania behind him, the 2-4 Pepsi Chevrolet. Last time a part-time driver, maybe this year we'll see a little bit more out of the Central Floridian. A home race for Richie. Younger brother Tristan not able to partake in festivities tonight either. And Donald Ray sitting just behind him. If you've just tuned in, you haven't missed a thing. A couple of cautions, nothing too major. A couple of drivers blinking at the back. John Honeybrink in that 20. Noah Belleville in the 15. He sits behind Ryan Pinnell, who's in that 1-2. Let's go on board with the Georgian. Jimmy Kerr in that 7-5 about to be put one lap down. And there's Richie Catania in the wall. There goes Riggs and the big one again. Cars everywhere. The 2 of Thomas Andrews going for a big slide. The 45 of Patrick Allen involved. Noah Belleville involved in that one. Cody Riggs' second involvement tonight. The number 3 Goodwrench Chevrolet just can't catch a break. And for what I think is the 3rd time tonight, another crash. And for the 2nd time, this one going into turn number 3. Well, let's see what happened. At this point, Catania's already in the wall. Have a look. Just bump drafting going into that 3rd corner. Looks like Riggs wanted to get into Hauk there. Catania really coming off okay, most things considering. Exile calling it a bad bump, and I'm inclined to agree with him. Keep your eyes on the orange car, Hauk. The 3 car coming in with a head full of steam. And have another look here, because this looks to be a case of maybe a bad block, or a late one at that. Let's go from the jump here. The 2-1 of Hauk, that orange singular car on the outside, he's going to get a big shove from Catania, get out to a big lead as well. And again, keep your eye on the 2-1. Riggs coming with a head full of steam. Riggs doesn't let up. And the rest goes from there. Now, the 12 involved, the 5, 6, and the 40. Let's have a look at those 3. Ryan Pinella in the 1-2. Let's see what happened here. Now, just a case of the 5-6 checking up, 40 into the 5-6. And that does it for those drivers. So Davey Hauk still out front. Everyone getting tires, fuel, whatever else they need to survive. And so far, survival has been the name of that game. So Hauk leads in the 2-1. Richie Catania is going to come out in second in the 2-4. And Briley Wright holds on to that 3rd position. So drivers just trying to get themselves settled, and maybe we can do the same, have a little bit of green flag competition here. We're going to take another 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more Gen 4 action at Daytona. Don't go anywhere. ready to go once again. Not quite to the halfway mark yet. Davey Hauk, Richie Catania have control of the field. Getting ready to go racing. 28 laps now underway at Daytona. Cars starting to lose control behind them again, but thankfully they make it 2 laps before more calamity ensues. 3 wide at the front. Hauk, Catania, Andrews on the top side, and you just have to cringe thinking, will they survive? Caution is out again, and this is on the borderline of ridiculous. Mongold and Alexander at the back. They get into the wall again. And the 9-lap green flag run at the beginning of this race has been the longest green flag run of the event tonight. Let's see what happened. This one involving Austin Mongold and Jason Alexander. Oh, it happened well before this. It looks like Alexander and Allen might have been involved. Yeah, just bump draft and gone wrong. Looks like the 45 makes it okay, but that bump draft gets the 40, the 30, the 56 goes spinning again. Jimmy Kurt just barely avoids that one. Davey Hauk remains your leader. Richie Catania sits in second, and Thomas Andrews in the 3rd position. Landon, moral support for some of his favorite drivers as well. Jack Mulkey saying it should be a felony for not holding your brakes here. Let's see who takes advantage of pit road. It looks like everybody except the 2 and the 62. Thomas Andrews and Aiden Norman simultaneously staying out of pit road. Check that out again. And the 2 Dodges synchronized in their refusal to come down for tires and fuel. Jacksonville, Florida, Ryan Pinnell in that 3rd position. The number 12 Taurus sits ahead of rookie Cody McFadden. And Bluegrass Bandit Cody Riggs lining up in that 5th position. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with Cody Riggs. Cody Riggs, how are you now?
Good, you?
Not so bad, buddy. It's kind of a disaster out there, and really, whoever made this lobby with the unlimited fast repairs needs a certain talking to, because this is crazy. How are you surviving out there?
Well, so far not so good. I think this is the first caution that I wasn't caught up in. I was able to avoid that one a little bit, but yeah, you can definitely tell that the fast repairs are turned off. It's a little bit different atmosphere out here tonight. 21's made a couple questionable calls there, but we might be even now. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes from here, though.
You seem to be linking up well, obviously, with Briley and Toby, who live just down the road here. But as far as drafting partners go, with this Gen 4 car, all that horsepower in the back end of the race car, how are you holding up with that drafting? Is it working out as intended?
Yeah, I mean, the cars are fast, and the draft pulls them up good. I made some adjustments to my steering before the race, and it's I'm a little not used to it, so I'm still adjusting. So the car feels a little uneasy to me at the moment, but every lap I get a little bit more used to it. So as the race goes on, I think I'll get the grasp of it and it'll feel better. But yeah, so far, man, these cars are great. I love them.
Good, buddy. I'm glad to hear that you're having fun. So sit tight. Hopefully we get some green flag laps here. And you go back there and tell those boys to cool it down. We can get some green flag racing here, buddy.
Yeah, will do.
So Cody Riggs back in the, what is that, third on the inside line. He's going to be lining up fifth. Thomas Andrews has control of the field. Defending champion Aiden Norman to his outside. 3 Thursday Night Thunder championships on the front row. Thomas Andrews and Aiden Norman ready to kick this off. A couple of dodges up at the front. Riggs in the number 3. Pinnell in that 1-2. Going to give him a push. Davey Hauk being called out by Riggs for some, as Cody put it, questionable blocks there. We took a look at a couple cautions before. Riggs coming with a head full of steam. Seemed to be blocked by the 2-1. And you can imagine that would be something acceptable towards the last lap of the race, but with a lot of racing left to go, hopefully these drivers show some restraint and we get some green flag laps under our belts. So Andrews and Norman up at the front, Pinnell and McFadden in row number 2. Donald Ray, who continues to give out subs, sitting in that 12th position. Shout out to Don Ray. Shout out to everybody at Rockwall, Texas as well, and his beloved Arkansas Razorbacks, who are starting out this week as well. And if you got a favorite college football team playing this week, put it in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. I'll be keeping my eyes on Miami, who's playing Miami this weekend. A lot of folks around me going to be keeping their eyes on Michigan State and the Ohio State team out there as well. So shout it out in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for in football this weekend. Enjoy this restart. 32 laps complete, and it's a couple of dodges at the fast front of this race. Green flag is out. How are your nerves, kid? Rookie Cody McFadden leads at the front. The iBuyPower 6-4 coming into this race. Did anybody rate him to win? He sits at the front leading in Thursday Night Thunder. Shout out to Cody McFadden. Thomas Andrews sitting in second. Ryan Pinnell running third in that 1-2 as they go zooming by the start-finish line. 35 laps underway, 51 to go. Honeybrink is in the wall. Will they check up behind him this time? Briley right in the 2-9, has no choice. Sanity prevails for one of the Bluegrass Bandits, and that red Goodwrench Chevrolet sits at the back just biding his time. Austin Mongold in the 30, also looking for some way to run some green flag laps. And at the front, Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews, undisturbed, uncontested. He's the new leader at Daytona, but Cody McFadden might have something to say as they cross the line. 50 laps remain. Brandon Fetter places Bearcats play this weekend. They entered the Big 12 this year. Tell me, Fetter Place, how's that going to work out for Cincinnati? Big 12, I don't know, with this conference realignment, it's almost like you could count on conferences being regional, but now they're all over the place. And Big 12 extending as far east as Cincinnati, and the Big 10 going as far west as Nebraska. Now questions about the Pac-12 football scene as well. Really interesting how it's going to pan out. I don't know who Thomas Andrews' favorite football team is. We should definitely ask him. Aiden Norman sitting in second. Patrick Allen in third. And look at the 15 of Noah Belleville. He's starting to wiggle left and right. Richie Catania in that 2-4. Behind that 45. Who's got a reputation for being impatient and dangerous. Allen in the Coors Light Silver Bullet car. Will he be able to hold his throttle foot this time? Cody McFadden at the front, the 38-lap leader. Goes to the top side. Thomas Andrews may give him a push, but how about Jacksonville's Ryan Pennell? It's time for the 12 to shine. He's on the inside as they go 3 wide all the way back in 8th. Belleville up the middle now. Now you see these guys start to wiggle, start to lose control, and you just think to yourself, look at Belleville squeezing up the middle. Talk about a dangerous move. Belleville forcing the issue right ahead of the 45. The 3 of Cody Riggs now down to the low side. Belleville in that 1-5. Should be careful. Allen now looks like he wants to make it 3 wide up the middle. He says, anything you can do, I can do more dangerously. And at this point, it looks like he might have had some Coors Lights, trying to force his way up the middle. How about the 2-1 of Hauk, who thinks he's just going to re-enter the racing surface at 190 miles an hour. Richie Catania may have been the big loser in that exchange. What happened here? Guys starting to lose control and lose patience, and there is the yellow flag. The 40 of Elridge George involved, the 20 of Jonathan Honeybrink, and it looks like the 5-6 of Jason Alexander caught a piece of that too. And let's see just what happened back on lap 39. Caution's already out at this point. No, it shall come out. Let's take a look. This is Davey Hauk here in the 21. Something happens here where the 2-1 gets out of sorts. From the top, keep your eye on the singular car. And the images kind of tell you everything there. Have another look. The 38's going to get into the 21 of Hauk. And the 2-1's going to get loose. Everyone's going to check up here. Have a look. Keep your eye on the orange car on the left. The singular machine. Checks up. Oberstadt doesn't check up. The 40 checks up way too late. And then the 20 gets up into the 40. And another caution comes out. So Jacksonville's Ryan Pennell sits at the front of this one with the lights on, illuminated on top of the pace car. So while the drivers try to sort themselves out, we'll see if we can urge these guys to go more than 9 laps without a caution flag here. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Fans, don't go anywhere. More TNT coming up from Daytona. Ready to go once again from iRacing's Daytona. 42 laps about to be completed. Jacksonville's Ryan Pennell with control of the front row. Andrews on the outside. Green flag is out. Got to get that camera angle fixed, don't we? Ryan Pennell sits at the front with Toby Estes behind him. Thomas Andrews on the outside. Patrick Allen looks like he might be into some sort of trouble. Cars wiggling behind him. The 45 on the outside, and he's a moving chicane at 180 plus. Everybody else still trying to survive. Mongold losing control of his race car right behind him. 3 wide as the patience wears thin for everybody. But hats off to New Jersey's Patrick Allen, who just keeps it glued to the outside, and so far, no wrecks at the back. Hats off to the 45, Ryan Pennell. On the inside, being willed along by Toby Estes. The 2 of Thomas Andrews to his outside. The 6'2", Aiden Norman, defending TNT champion. What can he come up with? Still plenty of racing to go. 41 laps remain this time through. Thomas Andrews wiggling along left and right. Drivers having to snake, having to check up. They're starting to lose it just a little bit at the back, but they get back into formation. Donald Ray in that number 5 Exalta Chevrolet. To the inside of Cody McFadden in that 6'4". John Honeybrink blinks at the back, but everybody else is so far so good. Let's ride on board with the 6'4" of Cody McFadden. Greensburg, Cody Riggs keeps his foot in it, and how about Jimmy Kerr making it through? How about that for a move? Toby Estes still at the front of this one. And the number 8 Budweiser Chevrolet holds the lead. We stay green. Thomas Andrews second on the outside line with Noah Belleville, now sitting in third. Last week's winner blinking no more. He shoots to the inside. Belleville drafting his way to the front. New leader at Daytona, Noah Belleville. 2 more cars in the wall. Richie Catania being able to just have that awareness, stay away from the 2 of Thomas Andrews. Cody McFadden also behind it all as well. Patrick Allen checks up. Austin Mongold now sitting 4th in line. Ryan Pennell at the front of this one. 3 wide behind him. Do they survive? And they do. Fetterplace saying, watch out for that 12. The Bulldogs fan in the Ford Taurus. Now sitting in front, Aiden Norman in that second position, Mongold to the outside, and last season's Daytona winner, Briley Wright, sitting in 5th. It's been a wreck fest of sorts, but it looks promising from here. Drivers looking like they're giving each other a little bit more space inside the final 40 laps of competition. Austin Mongold went green last time around. The 30 car on the outside, now into the wall. He stays in the wall, and hats off to Mongold avoiding another wreck, but a shame nonetheless for car number 30. Everybody else makes it around him, and Mongold, unfortunately, doing the right thing, loses the draft. He'll need a caution to get back into contention. Alexander goes purple. 44.86 for the South Carolinian. Fastest lap tonight. Right on the outside with Pennell to his left-hand side, and they go flying by with Ryan Pennell sitting in position number 1, but right now leads the most recent lap. 29 to the lead, Steven Oberstadt behind him, and still plenty of race to go. Green flag on lap 46. We've made it to 50 thus far, caution-free. Pennell in the 1-2 with Norman sitting behind. Jason Alexander in the 5-6 with Patrick Allen to his inside. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews in that number 2. And there they go again. This time it's Ray, Andrews, Oberstadt. Catania's involved. Pieces fly everywhere. Caution comes out on lap 51. Ryan Pennell, your race leader. Let's see what happened. Looks like Donald Ray gets hooked down the chute. And a few other guys get involved. This coming with 35 laps remaining still. Drivers only getting 4 tire changes in this race. And looks like unlimited fast repairs by somebody around here who's absolutely ruined tonight's race. We're going to have to get that guy and beat him up. But let's go back again and see just what happened. Keep your eye on the 5 of Donald Ray. Let's go back to the blimp. Riggs going off the racetrack here. Mongol just does not check up in the 30. Riggs goes for a big slide. Wright checks up enough for Mongold, but the 30 car into Riggs, and that right there is going to earn Austin Mongold his very own Seth Wansing, what are you doing move of the race.
What are you doing?
But one more look here at Jimmy Kerr, however. Watch this. Kerr right there avoids Cody Riggs. Let's go on board with Jimmy Kerr once more. Check this out. Able to avoid the 3 car right there, and moves like that earn Jimmy Kerr his very own Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream.
Kerr sitting a couple laps off the pace, and at the rate that we're getting cautions, Jimmy Kerr's going to be leading this one before the night is over. So just over 30 laps to go. I think we'll have 32 to be exact when we restart this race. Jason Alexander is at the front. Aiden Norman is in that second position. Fans at home, we're getting close to the end here. Don't go anywhere. Green flag in 60 seconds. ready to go once again. Jason Alexander, Aiden Norman at the front of this one. 32 laps remain in round number 3. Green flag is out. .31 laps now remaining. Noah Belleville on the outside will be your new leader briefly, but Aiden Norman has the run coming up the inside of the corner. Donald Ray now sitting second in line, and here they all come down the back straight. Belleville on the outside in that number 1-5 machine. Briley right in the 2-9, third on that inside line. Ryan Pennell shoots to the top side. David Hauk beneath him in that 2-1. Cody Riggs just one car away from Hauk. The 40 of Elridge George has been just moving back and forth. Will that Dodge be able to score a top 5 finish after the shenanigans that thing has been involved in tonight? Anybody's race still. 30 laps remaining, and now it's 29 at the line. Mongold behind Oberstadt in the 30, right at the back. Jeannie in the chat says, what a race. Norman to the front. The Phoenix winner, the defending champion, looking to be the first 3-time champion in Thursday Night Thunder in that 6-2. Donald Ray behind him. Norman still out front, and now it looks like just a little bit of sanity may have prevailed. Noah Belleville on the outside looking for a draft partner. Ryan Pennell in the 1-2, just being patient in that Bulldogs Ford. And everybody just patiently waiting now as the race continues. Drivers making approximately 32 laps on one tank of fuel. At the rate we've had cautions tonight, they're not going to have to worry about any of that. Again, unlimited fast repairs tonight as opposed to one. And for sim racing, that just might have something to do with the enormous level of yellows tonight. Normally not the kind of style of racing you see in Thursday Night Thunder, but nevertheless, it continues. The 6-2 of Norman still leads with Ray behind him. Kentucky's, not Noah Belleville, Briley Wright sits in third. It goes Dodge, Chevy up the inside. 3 Chevrolets inside the top 5, and now 4 as David Hauk puts his singular 2-1. Fourth in line, Jimmy Kerr, who just got his Cole Trickle move of the race, waiting at the back like a smart fella. Norman still leads, and it looks like single file might just be the style for the time being. The 2.9 of Wright waiting third in line. Belleville trying to get some side draft off that 2.9, and it looks like it's working. Here comes Ryan Pennell, possibly to be of some assistance to that 15. Gives him just a little bit of a bump draft down the straight. Jason Alexander thinks otherwise. He's going to check up, and he's going to let the boys draft it out. And if you've just tuned in, you've missed, well, a hell of a lot, to be honest with you. Lots of cautions tonight, but still some good racing. Round 3 still up for grabs, and you've got to love the plate racing when it comes down to the wire. Quickly approaching the final 20 laps of action at the World Center of Racing. David Houck in that 2-1. He's got Elrich George behind him. John Honeybrink, the blinking Home Depot Pontiac, well at the back. Patrick Allen in that 45 car sits ahead of Thomas Andrews. That's 12th and 13th, respectively. Andrews in the 2 won't come down in front of Mongold and that Chrome Dodge. The Season 4 champion, and a good start so far in this campaign, but the dice roll that is Daytona could really throw a wrench into everything. The yellow line rule is in effect. Elrich George not making a pass under that yellow line, but putting a couple of left side tires below that yellow line. Patrick Allen decides he wants to make it 3 wide on the inside of Catania. He's going to scrub off a ton of speed, and here comes Andrews in the 2, now to the inside of car 45, and the patience paying off for Andrews. Allen opens the door, trying to make a pass of his own, and now that number 2 Dodge sits out front. Well, out front of the 45, let's say. Not out front of the race. That still belongs to Aiden Norman while Noah Belleville tries his hardest. 22 laps remain. Under the lights now at Daytona. We started late afternoon. We're into the evening now. Norman in that 6-2. Ray behind him. Right in the 2-9 sitting in third. And now the question has to be asked. When do you make your move? Pennell in the 1-2, behind Belleville in that 15. And now the question really is just when do they start getting a bit more pushy and shovey, because the racing that we expect in the last 5 laps of this race has been throughout the entirety of this competition so far, this 212-mile event. Kind of with an asterisk next to these results after so many cautions, but a W's a W, and these guys are going to go for it. Tom Sears, who's not in tonight's festivities, put up a $25 bounty for first place. We'll see who that goes to when this one's all said and done. Defending champion Aiden Norman still has the lead and has not let it go since that green flag came out. Belleville blinking at the front, and the 1-2 of Pennell behind him. So when do they get tired of this? When do the officials say 15 car to the back? This can't be conducive for racing at all. And a blink from Ryan Pennell. 1-2 car on the outside with the 5-6 now looking beneath him. Richie Catania in that 2-4. He's got Thomas Andrews behind him, a couple of the original Thursday Night Thunder drivers speeding through that tri-oval. It's now 18 laps to go under the moon at Daytona. Rookie Cody McFadden sitting in 17th, draftless. 1 lap off the pace. He will go 2 laps down, and he's on the same lap as Jimmy Kerr III in that 7.5 machine. This would be for position once Kerr gets to that 64. Belleville in the 15 now has all the momentum on the outside. It's going to be a drag race into 3. Where will McFadden sit in all of this? Will he move to one side? Will he make himself a part of the problem? He can't duck to the inside now. Here comes that cavalry on Cody McFadden. McFadden stays glued to the outside, and everybody avoids him beautifully. Belleville on the outside. The 6'2 of Norman to the inside. The 5 of Donald Ray. He's got a chance. I don't think we've seen Donald Ray win since Season 4. The Texas winner, I think. Maybe it was a different race, but he did get a win in Season 4. I don't think we've seen Ryan Pennell win since Season 4. It was Talladega winning at the hands of Thomas Andrews, getting into the 0-0 of Dustin Painter, and who was there to collect? Ryan Pennell. At the back, we've got Patrick Allen, who loses control of his race car into the wall. John Honeybrink blinks at the back of this field. What is it, 17 laps now remaining? Oh, the tension just gets higher and higher. Sim racing Sunday afternoon, whether it's NASCAR racing, just you can feel the tension. You can almost taste it now. 16 to go. Next time by. And if this kind of tension and competition doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. Six-2 still leads with the number 5 behind him. Ryan Pennell looks like he's getting into the wall. All eyes on the number 12 Bulldog, not Chevrolet, Ford. The 8 car of Toby Estes sitting behind him, and cars starting to jostle the Bahamian in the 40. Elrich George in the Caterpillar Dodge sitting 6th or 5th in line. Either way, it's getting hairy, and these drivers really need to be patient. The only 2 winners this season, Belleville on the outside, Norman on the inside. Jason Alexander wants a cut. 2-4 of Catania on that outside. The 1-2 of Ryan Pennell. 4th in line, top side. When will we see the 3rd line form? Who's going to be the bravest? There's a big wreck there. David Houck on the inside. He comes back up. Jason Alexander gets into Thomas Andrews, and it's a disaster from here. Caution comes out with 14 laps to go. Thomas Andrews slams into the wall. And another accident for him. Caution will come out. Jason Alexander makes his way through. Thomas Andrews, gentlemanlike in putting the brakes on. Let's see what happened. You just see the 5-6 of Alexander. It looks like he just gets shunted from behind. Austin Mongold gets collected. Let's go back a little further. Oh, just Belleville blinks, and it looks like the 5-6 might have made contact with Belleville, and then possibly netcode from the 2-1 of Houck. And keep your eye on the gray 5-6 car, Jason Alexander on the outside. And the pictures really just tell it all. Jason Alexander getting caught up in that. Jimmy Kerr making it through. Caution comes out again, and we're going to restart inside the final 10 laps. I don't think it'll be our last caution by any stretch of the imagination, so sit tight. We're going to restart at Daytona with fewer than 10 laps remaining. Round 3 has been incredible so far, and we know you want to see the very end. Tell all your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to get in here. And Landon saying, when the cars blink out on my screen, does it do it on the drivers as well? And you know the answer to that, it depends. It doesn't happen for everybody. It does happen for, I would say, probably about half the drivers to a big majority, but it's enough to where it causes some sort of disturbance in the force, and that's what happened there. So Ryan Pennell will have control of the field. He's going to restart in first in that Bulldog Ford. And if you like what you see, if you like the paint schemes that you see, don't forget to head over to Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Get yourself a piece of NASCAR history. Any of these paint schemes that you like, anything that's kind of reminiscent to throwback paint schemes, you'll find on Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your #1 Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Don't miss out on your chance to get a piece of NASCAR history. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook, your #1 store for NASCAR memorabilia. Fans, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Landon follows, and we'll have a new follower for these final 10 or 9 laps of action. All right, now for real. I'm going away for 2 minutes. We'll see you guys back for the end of the race. Ten laps to go from the World Center of Racing in this third round of Thursday Night Thunder competition. We're on board with Ryan Pennell, who will have control of the field when the green flag comes out. 25 more miles in this 212-mile competition. The banking levels out. Ryan shifts down, and he waits for the pace car to peel off. Wait for the green lights on top of the starter stand. 10 more laps at Daytona, and this is the one that everybody wants to win. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. It's happened already. Hauk at the back. They didn't make it 2 turns. Jimmy Kerr avoids a caution, avoids a crash again. Caution's already out. Noah Belleville may have been the race leader at the time of caution, but the yellow flies once again. They don't make it 2 corners at Daytona. Let's see what happened. Hauk involved again. Let's have a look at the 2-1 from the blimp. Keep your eye on the orange car on the outside. Let's see if he comes down onto the 2-9 of Briley Wright. Oh, not sure what happened there. Hauk just wiggles at the last minute right in front of the 2-9, collects Honeybrink. Oberstadt, the 5-6 again. Once more, keep your eyes on the 2-1 and the 2-9. Noah Belleville at the front of this one. Ryan Pennell in that second spot. Let's try and grab a word from Jacksonville, Florida's Ryan Pennell. Ryan Pennell, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Sir, I got you.
It's been a slugfest. Definitely less than agreeable tonight, but you're sitting up there in the top 3. We're going to restart here inside the final 8 laps of racing, if my math is right. Do you have a dancing partner out there?
Yeah, I got Boss right behind me. You know, he's on my team Sundays, so we'll try and work together. I got Patrick Allen, which he has no teammates, so there's no telling what he'll do. Then, you know, just really just worried about Noah's blink, making sure, you know, we don't cause any issues with that. But other than that, yeah, me and Boss are going to try and get both of us up here on the podium and try and get one of us to win for sure.
Looks like the lights are still on atop the pace car, so we're going to be restarting with 6 laps to go. Fuel, tires, all good. How's the bump drafting with the Gen 4 car? A lot more horsepower makes kind of for a calamitous affair.
Yeah, you got to be careful for sure. I mean, if you push too hard, it will actually lift the entire car in front of you's rear tires off the ground. I've seen it happen a couple times, so you definitely got to be careful. But I mean, as we come, you know, with 6 to go as we restart, it's going to be crazy. So people are going to be making some silly moves, especially back there in the back. That's why I'm happy I'm up here in the front. So let's try and keep this number 12 Georgia Bulldog Ford Taurus out of harm's way and see if we can't bring it home in victory lane.
We're pulling for you, buddy. It's been a long time since we've seen that 12 car in victory lane, so we hope all goes good, man. Stay out of trouble, and hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Absolutely.
So Pennell's going to go back to work here, riding on board with him in his Georgia Bulldogs number 12. Noah Belleville looks like he'll have control of the field when they go green once again. And hopefully, just hopefully, this time they'll make it more than 2 corners at Daytona before they get in an accident. Entertaining nonetheless. Can't complain, right? We're glad you're here to watch this with us. I really genuinely am. Without the fans, none of this is absolutely possible. And I mean that from the bottom of my PC. We can't do this without people that tune in to watch. So thank you so much for doing so. And we can't do this without Drip Diecast and Collectibles. You heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. Visit Drip Diecast and Collectibles on Facebook. Get your piece of NASCAR memorabilia. The 15 of Noah Belleville, you can get a car that looks just like that. You can get a car that looks like the 40 of Elridge George. Maybe even the 3 of Cody Riggs. I think there's a couple cars on there that sort of look like the 2 of Thomas Andrews, and maybe even the 8 of Toby Estes. Best believe you'll find something that looks like the 21 of Hauk. And I don't care how many times he blinks, you'll find a car just like this, the 20 of John Honeybrink, maybe Richie Catania's Pepsi car you'll find up there. And I think you can find some sort of flames somewhere on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Check them out on Facebook, your #1 store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. Noah Belleville and Ryan Pennell have control of the field when we go back to green. It will be 6 laps to go to win TNT at Daytona. It's been a challenge. It's been an absolute challenge for these drivers, but we'll see who answers the call here 6 laps from now. Pennell on the outside, Belleville to the left-hand side. Pace car peels off. 6 more circuits around the World Center of Racing. Drivers wait for the signal. They wait to mash their foot. There's the famous words, green flag, and we're racing again at Daytona. Pennell with a bumper full of Belleville, and it's 5 laps to go. The season 6 winner, Briley Wright to the top side. Ryan Pennell behind him. Cars trying to find their place in line with the laps closing at Daytona. A couple of guys losing control. There goes some blinks. There goes Catania. Pennell in the 1-2, still leading on the inside. Briley Wright now edges him into 3. There goes the 40 and the 56 Alexander to the inside. Briley Wright leads this race 3-4 wide. Pennell to the inside, and the caution comes out. Ryan Pennell will be your race leader when we take our first green-white checkered attempt. And I shudder to count the amount of cautions we've had tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the double digits. Austin Mongold caught a piece of that as well. Jason Alexander flew off the track at 160 iRacing miles per hour. Let's see what happened to the South Carolinian. Comes right to the inside. George is there. Nowhere for George to go. Have a look. Yep, 5-6 tries to shoot to the inside, but that space is otherwise occupied by car number 40. With Elrich George. And there's the 3 of Cody Riggs, who then gets up, and that's most likely what triggered your caution. Have another look. Keep your eyes on the 40. Riggs loses control. Cody Riggs, unfortunately, been involved in his fair share this evening. And the caution flies again, so Ryan Pennell in control. Briley Wright in second. And here's a Bluegrass Bandit that we have yet to speak to this evening. Let's try and get a hold of him. Briley Wright, Rick James up top. Can you hear me? Briley Wright, Rick James in the booth. Can you hear me?
I got you, Rick.
Hey, buddy, there we go. Sound a little bit quiet. Let's see if we can dial you up here for the fans. So it's been an evening, hasn't it? A lot of racing tonight, a lot of crashes tonight as well, man. But you seem to be surviving at least for this first green-white checkered attempt.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a good spot with the 15 behind me, and I don't know. These things are always wild, so we'll just see what happens. I think Ryan, most of the time people don't want to be leading at the end of these things, but I think Ryan might be in the best part right now.
Ryan looks like he's going to have at least the advantage coming to the end of this race. Who's going to be your best drafting partner on the way to the end?
Hopefully the 15 car.
We'll see what happens in these last couple of laps here. It's certainly going to be a lot of fun on the way to the end, man. Best of luck.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Ryan Pennell will come to the line with Briley right behind him. And now I'm questioning myself if we're going to have this green-white checkered for the end of this race. As the laps just tick to 84, it may just be... Well, we'll see what happens here. Lights are off atop the pace car with 2 to go, so if it stays lap 84, the next time they cross the line, it'll be the green-white checker. Otherwise, it'll be a one-lap shootout to the end. Not how we run things in Thursday Night Thunder. A little bit of an error with the setup, but we'll have that fixed moving forward, and the show will go on as intended. Briley right on the outside, and the 15 of Noah Belleville sits behind him. Patrick Allen will restart second in line. Steven Oberstadt will be in that 38 on the outside. Toby Estes in the 8 car, one of those Bluegrass Bandits, possibly looking to hook up with the 2-9 of Briley Wright. And Cody Riggs on the lead lap. In the back of this field, will the third of 3 Bluegrass Bandits be able to affect any sort of change toward the end of this race? Keep your eyes on the flag when we take it. Don't even know what color it's going to be, but you know what? That's part of the fun, isn't it? We just roll with the punches. We're just going to see what happens here. It's going to be regardless of how many laps we run to the end, it's Gen 4 at Daytona. It was going to be a dice roll either way. It's going to be a very, very fun finish to this race. Ryan Pennell to the inside. Briley Wright to the outside. Waiting for the signal. Desperately waiting to mash their feet down. Pennell with a great jump. The green flag is out at Daytona, and this will be the final lap of competition. Pennell on the inside, right to his outside. Belleville trying to give him a push, and Pennell is a sitting duck for the end of this race. Allen scrubbing off speed by touching the yellow line beneath him. Toby Estes sitting third on the inside line. Patrick Allen in second. When will the desperation lead to a crash? It's inevitable now. Right on the outside. Pennell to the inside. Half a lap remains at Daytona. There goes Belleville, who shoots to the inside. What great timing. Belleville hits that yellow line. Has he scrubbed off too much speed? There they go wrecking. Belleville ahead, and it was going to end this way. It will be Noah Belleville who wins round 3 at Daytona. And of all the crazy finishes, Noah Belleville gets his second consecutive win. Miss Moneypenny cheering for the 1-5. Austin Mongold in second. Rookie Cody McFadden finishing in third. Genie cheering on for Belleville as well. And indeed, that is the way she goes. The 15 puts her in the grass, and Belleville will celebrate at Daytona. Crazy race, crazy celebration. Belleville will be on the podium at the end of this one. We'll have Austin Mongold and Cody McFadden as well. Fans, don't go anywhere. Belleville, your winner under the lights at the World Center of Racing. On the podium now with our top three, starting with rookie Cody McFadden in that 6-4. Cody, third place finish tonight. Well done.
Thank you. I'll take it. It was crazy. I was up front at the beginning, kind of fell back. Strategy screwed me up, but happy to be in the top three.
Next week, definitely going to be a much more tame affair as we take to the Kentucky Speedway. You've done well so far in these seasons, and barring this one plate race, you think you've got what it takes at Kentucky?
Yeah. I mean, there's some really fast guys in here, obviously, but top 5 to 10 maybe. I'll be okay, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some work to get up in the top 5.
We'll see you in a week's time from the Bluegrass State. Congratulations on third. On to tonight's silver medalist, Austin Mongold in the 30. Another rookie in Thursday Night Thunder coming up with the second place finish. Did you think that was a possibility tonight?
I mean, I thought, it was a good chance for me to try to win, but it wasn't looking that good coming to the restart. But I don't know how I managed to avoid that wreck. I just kind of threw it up in the wall and floored it, thinking, "Oh, I'll get what I get." But I guess I can't complain with the second place.
Next week at Kentucky, going to be a good outing for you as well. It's definitely going to shake up the points. Congratulations on that silver medal.
Thank you.
Tonight's race winner, 2 wins in a row. Noah Belleville, driver of that number 1-5 Napa Chevrolet. Noah, 2 wins already, and Aiden Norman's championship already under threat. Kind of a dice roll for you as well, but a W is a W. What do you say?
Man, I was having so much fun that race. I was out there making moves. I mean, well, and that was partly because some idiot gave us unlimited fast repairs, so I had a little more confidence to do it.
What an absolute jerk.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so that gave me a little more confidence. But yeah, I was throwing it 3 wide, making moves, just trying to be aggressive to get up to the front, and shoved Briley out there to the lead, got myself clear, and made the move.
Next week at Kentucky, you go for 3 consecutive wins. The first full-time season of TNT is working out pretty well for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
We'll
Can't
see you in a week's time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Fans at home, that does it for another chapter of Thursday Night Thunder. Despite the sparks and the fur flying, the race is now in the books, and we'll see you in a week's time at the Kentucky Speedway right here, Rick James TV, 7 nights from now, and then the week after that, the circus keeps on rolling to Dallas, Fort Worth, and iRacing's Texas Motor Speedway, September 14, right here on Rick James TV. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we